Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob with Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today we're doing a review impressions of the Kizer Smolt fixed blade. Let's take a look at this. All right, today we're looking at the Kizer Smolt knife. This is a fixed blade. The name of the knife is called the Smolt. Matter of fact, it has it right there on the knife itself. It is a fixed blade. The manufacturer is Kizer Knives, and this is the designer on this particular one is Jonathan Stiles. So this is a Jonathan Stiles design, which I think is pretty cool. It is a fixed blade. So let's talk about this. It's what I would consider a small EDC fixed blade. So the materials on this one is G10 handles with micarta inlays. We have a 3V blade steel, which with is PVD coated, which helps with like corrosion resistance. Let's try that again. But it's 3V steel, which is a great steel, a great kind of a fixed blade steel. This is very small in the sense of it's right about the smallest that I can handle. But I like the knife for the sake of if you need to carry a small EDC knife with you that you want to be able to use and abuse, this would be a great knife for that. It comes with a Kydex sheath, which is really outstanding. It's a really nice Kydex sheath, clicks in there really well, releases really well, and it has a tech lock, one of the newer tech locks, right? With the spring loaded on there, so that can pop in, and it's adjustable for different belt thicknesses and what have you. I had this originally vertical because that's how I carry it, like this. Actually, yeah, I carry it like this. I had it on this side right here, vertical like this, so that I could release the knife on this side and pull out with my left hand because I carry something on my right side that I have access to, right? So, Kydex sheath, tech lock with the spring action right here for releasing it, which is nice. Really, really, really outstanding. I do really enjoy this right here. And I believe there is a little hole. I got it covered up now. I can't even see it. Yeah, there's a little hole over here where it can leak out. Yeah, there it is. There's a little hole, which you always want on a sheath, right? In case water or anything drips in there. All right, so Kydex sheath, fantastic. Adjustable. You can put the screws vertical, horizontal, which I really like. So we'll look at that. So here's the fixed blade itself. G10 handles. I love the fact that it has screws on there. It does have a place for a lanyard loop. So if you wanted to do a lanyard on a smaller fixed blade, it might make a lot of sense, I think. So, I mean, I think there's an argument for that. I like the fact that it is definitely coated. I think that's really nice. Pretty sharp. 3V sharpens up well, retains an edge pretty good. It's pretty tough steel. Not super corrosion resistant. That's why it's coated. Micarta inlays with nice cutout gives it some nice texture. You're not going to drop this knife. It's not going to get slippery. I like that. It has a somewhat of a finger guard, but this and that really works well. This is not meant to be a really aggressive knife. It's meant to be kind of a utility knife. You have some nice jimping up there. That is functional. You can move across nicely. You push down. It does lock you in place. I like that. Has a nice little sharpening choil. It is a relatively small blade for what it is. Let's measure what the size of those screws are. I think those are T8s. I might be wrong, but I'm going to go with T8s, maybe T10s. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So, well, just in case, let's just make sure it's not a T9. That's a T7. Here's a T9. T9. Is it a T9? Oh my gosh. It's a T9. Well, no. Okay. That side seemed like to be it was a T9, but this side seems like it's a T8. Yeah, that's a solid T8 over there. Not moving around. Over here, it's kind of a little movement, and the T9 fits in there. So I don't know if that was intentional. Interesting. So probably T8 is what it's intended, but the nice thing about why do you care? Why does anybody ever want to unscrew the grips or the handles on a fixed blade? Well, if you're hunting, let's say you're on a campsite, you're prepping dinner, maybe you're making chicken, right? And you get some of your raw chicken juice on there, which, salmonella and all that stuff. You want to be able to take it out and clean it out. If you're hunting and this happens to be what you're cleaning your game with, whatever that is, you could get stuff in there from whatever you hunted, right? And so you want to make sure this tool can be cleaned out and be health and not be a biohazard, right? So that's the nice thing about that. You can take it apart and clean it. The other thing, it is a full tang blade, which is important on any fixed blade, in my opinion. You don't want to get a fixed blade that's not a full tang. That's ridiculous, right? Let's see, where's the center of the knife is probably about right there. So it's, it's going to be a little back heavy, probably because of the tang and the blade here. It is sort of, I would call this a drop point. It's not perfectly straight, so it's a drop point. You do have a nice belly on the blade. It's almost a full flat grind. Not quite a full flat grind there. Does come down to be a nice slicey edge, which I appreciate, right? I love that the scales themselves, the handles right here, are rounded all the way around. They're not just chamfered, they're rounded, and it's comfortable. It's comfortable in the hand. It's not going to dig in. There's no hot spots, which I think is a really nice touch on a blade like this. And especially when you go into the sheath and you want to pull it out, you want to be able to get some nice grip. And I'll tell you, this milling, this, if you will, I guess it's jimping technically. It's maybe texture if you want to call it on the grip, but it really is like giant jimping, right? Kind of like this up here. Gives you some grip, which is nice when you, especially when you're putting the blade in and you're pulling the blade out. So that's pretty cool. All right. That's the handle, how it opens and closes, open and close, goes into the Kydex sheath. You hear it locked, it's in place, solid. You push out, it releases, that's open and closing. The blade, you already saw that, drop point. Let's get into the measurements of this. Let's measure how much this guy weighs. All right, so we'll do the blade first, and then we'll do it with the Kydex sheath on there. All right, so the blade by itself is 2.8 ounces. The Kydex sheath is 2.1 ounces. So we're looking at almost 5 ounces, 4.9 or 5 ounces. See what it comes out to. It rounds up to 5 ounces, right? 5 ounces. All right, so there you go. Not bad for a small fixed blade. I think that's pretty reasonable, actually. So there you go. Let's look at the overall length of this knife here. We are looking at a knife from the very tip to the very back here is 6.5 inches exactly. The actual grip area where you can actually grip the knife is about just under 3.5 inches, barely. If you choke all the way up here, you could be at 3.5, right? From the tip to the back of the scale, very top of the scale is just under 3 inches. It's like, I want to say 2 15/16, right? The length of the blade itself is going to be 2 and I want to say 7/8, 2 7/8 of an inch. So that's your cutting length. If we were to put this in here with the Kydex sheath on there, what we're looking at, and this might be important depending on how you carry the knife, right? It's going to be just under 7 inches with the sheath on, the width-wise, and if you're carrying vertically, this is important, it's 2.25 inches. So that'll mean something to you guys. Now, width-wise, especially if you're carrying within the belt, if we look at the grip on this side to here, we are looking at something probably, I'm going to say 1 1/8 to 1 1/4 inch width-wise. So, I mean, there you go. That's what we're dealing with right here. All right, so let's look at the blade stock thickness on this knife. Ooh, are we not centered? Hold on. All right. Let me just make sure I didn't need to clean this because sometimes there's something on there and I will have to recenter it. There we go. Okay. So let's measure that. 130 thousandths of an inch, which is not thin, but it's not super thick for a fixed blade. It's for a small fixed blade, that's pretty stout and pretty solid. Comes to a nice pokey tip. You definitely be able to get in your fertilizer, mulch, cat food, dog food, cat litter, cases of water. Definitely be a good tool. Like if you're in the yard cutting branches, cutting weeds, stuff like that, you want to cut, you need to open up different things as you're getting in and out of boxes, your Amazon boxes, your gifts, whatever, letters. This will be a great little tool as far as that is concerned. So there you go. All right. That is our overall category. So what knife category does this fall into? Is it a budget category? Is it a regular category? So budget is anything under $100 and a regular is anything from $100 to $300. I will tell you this is in a budget category as far as I'm concerned. It's $69, which is really a great deal for 69 bucks. I mean, it is made in China. So if you're not a fan of things made in China, I get it. But I think for something made in China, this is a ridiculously awesome deal here. This is going to be a great tool, great something that you can use. That's what I really like about this. I like small EDC fixed blades. Matter of fact, I'm carrying one right now, just so you get an idea. What I am actually carrying right now, it's clipped in, so I have to unclip it. Give me just a second. Come on, release. All right, I'm gonna have to stand up to get this out because it is, yeah, there we go. All right. So on this one, I have an ulti-clip. I don't have a side carry. This is the Luft Concepts LTL, which is another great fixed blade. A little more aggressive, made in the USA. Now, yes, Do both of these work as a tool? Absolutely. Could both of these do the same job? Absolutely. This one happens to be a Magna Cut, so this is going to be pretty aggressive, very saltwater, corrosion resistant. Got a beautiful acid stone wash there. Rich light micarta, which is nice. So, I mean, in that regard, it does have a little nicer steel in some ways, as far as, I mean, that's a perspective, right? Some people may say, well, the 3V, you know, for whatever reasons, they might like that more. Whatever, but USA made, USA constructed, USA steel. I mean, everything's done in the USA. This is overseas. So what you're getting here is obviously it's going to be more expensive being in the USA. Everything here being in the USA. And you're going to get a great deal on this knife because it is made in China. So if you don't mind buying something from China like this, to me, this is a great fixed blade just to beat up, use and abuse, right? I happen to carry some more expensive ones that I use and carry and have no problem using and abusing as well, because that's what they're made for, my fixed blades. Especially if I'm carrying something really nice. Like right now I'm carrying a pretty decent knife. I mean, it's my Berg Blades Alpha, and it's a fairly nice carbon fibered polished DLC knife. I like this knife a lot, but sometimes I'll carry a Grail or something, and I don't want to be stuck in a situation where I need to do something aggressive. And what I like about having a fixed blade with me is I can use this to do the hard work that I need to and not worry as much that I'm going to do that. That's what I like about the Smolt. The Smolt is that. And this is a knife that I feel at the category that it's at 69 bucks. You can use it, abuse it, even destroy it, and you can buy another one. It's such a cost-effective price. Now, for some of you guys, that may seem like a lot of money, but relatively speaking, when you look at certain knives, you can get fixed blades for $1,000 bucks. You can get, I mean, the sky's the limit in many ways, but useful fixed blades. Like I have a McNeese Ridge Runner. That's like $250, I think, somewhere around there. I don't know. I have a Vero Engineering fixed Axon. That was like almost $300 bucks. Then you have a what else do I have? I have a Quiet Carry Mark Magna Cut, gorgeous big blade though, but really nice. That one was well over $300. So, you know, you can spend a lot of money on these knives. You really can. You can spend a significant amount of money on these knives. And I think they're all worth it. And it's a matter of what you want, right? All different things cost more, right? So when you're getting something like this, the question is, what are you paying for and what do you want? What do you expect from it? I think this is a great tool if you're not worried, you know, about destroying the knife, and you don't care if it's not made in the USA. That might be an important factor for you. So all that stuff, I think this makes it a great tool. All right, so what's the purpose and use of this? We already talked about that. EDC, hard use, collection piece, absolutely. Now, I don't think anything that's fixed blade is a collection piece. I think all fixed blades, not fixed blades, sorry, budget knives are not collection pieces. But you can do you can collect whatever you want. But personally, I do not think fixed budget knives are collection pieces. I think they're meant to be used and abused and destroyed and then replaced, right? And that's why I think it's EDC hard use. Now, I always tell you about hard use. Get the right tool for the right job. Many times people have a folder, a button lock, a frame lock, a liner lock, an inset liner lock, maybe a shark lock, whatever. All those are kind of locks that aren't perfectly as strong as a fixed blade. Now, fixed blade is definitely a better tool. It's a step before you get to the axe, before you get to something that you can chop in things with. Like I could take this and hammer this down with a log and break a log. I could break pieces of logs off with this. I'd feel very comfortable. The lock's not gonna fail me on this thing, right? Because there's no lock. It's a fixed blade. As long as I can have a good presentation, a good control over the knife, this knife should do everything it needs to be able to do for me. That's the benefit to me of a fixed blade. So I will say that. EDC, all that. So ergos and feel on this, I think the ergos and feels are great. It's contoured, slightly contoured, but it's flat enough. It's got texture on there. It's good grip. It's going to give you solid presentation as far as a fixed blade goes. It's got a jimping, hold and lock your hand in place. It has a slightly finger guard, enough that I'm not going to slide between this and this. I'm not going to slide off if I'm using this knife. It is a smaller knife now. You need a big job, big task, I would get a bigger fixed blade. I'm like my Mark or my McNeese Ridge Runner. Those are two bigger knives that I would probably recommend, okay? But this is still a solid, sound knife as far as I'm concerned. The texture, all that works really well. The flat grind, the PVD coating on there is going to work really nicely. It does have a lanyard, so in case it's a smaller knife, you want a lanyard so you're not going to drop it if you're hunting, using this in hunting or camping or what have you. Has a nice Kydex sheath, goes in and out really well. This is solid. It locks in place. It's really a good sheath, and I like that a lot. That's, to me, is a big plus. All right, so overall feel of the knife, it's solid. I mean, it might be too small for some people, but I know some people with big hands sometimes like a little 3-finger fixed blade for just these kind of odd, sort of hard use types of jobs. And this knife would be that. Maybe you wanted something really, really, really EDC, really small, something you can really carry. It's out of sight, out of mind. This would do the job. For some of you, I have large hands with big meaty fingers, so right here is about my grip. I'm right at right there where I can get all 4 fingers on there. If you have extra large hands with normal size fingers, double extra large hands with thinner fingers, this is where you're going to be. If you're big meaty hands and you're extra large, you might be 3.5. Double extra large, you're going to be about 3 fingers, maybe 1 in the corner there. Okay, so if that's okay for you, that's cool. I mean, sometimes this is nice to carry if you're carrying a really nice knife. You don't want to carry a giant knife with you, something that's very EDC friendly. This would work. So in that regard, overall fidget factor, it's a fixed blade. It's a fixed blade. You don't get a lot of scores for a fixed blade. But I do give you something for a nice sheath that goes in and out and locks in place really well. And this is that. It does do that. So you're going to get a solid 2 for me. A solid 2 on this one. This is a solid 2. Does it really well. Overall fidgety goodness, as far as a fixed blade is going in and out of the sheath, this is 100%. This is exactly what you want it to do. It executes like a fixed blade, going in and out of the sheath perfectly well. So yeah, I'm a big fan of that. What are my overall thoughts? Is it recommended? Absolutely 100% recommended. This is great. Now, the only thing I'd caveat to say is if you don't want to buy something made in China, this may not be for you. But if you want a really great value, I mean, a knife you can abuse, use, and just, matter of fact, you can take one of these and use it, and if you lost it, you wouldn't be as worried as if you lost. Like, if I lose this, I would be very sad. I'd be very sad. It's an expensive knife. It's not a cheap knife. But I like this knife, and I care a lot about this knife, and I enjoy it, right? So, in certain situations between these two, I would be using this for a lot crazier stuff than I might be using this. I'm just saying. So if that was ever a concern for you, this is a great alternative, right? If you're just on a budget and you needed a good fixed blade, this will absolutely work for you. Absolutely work for you. I think you should really consider this. Just my recommendation. I think it's great. They also, Kizer also makes the, I have a review of the Kizer Militaw fixed blade. If this is too small, the Kizer Militaw is another alternative that Kizer makes. It's also another great budget value. It's in the 70s, I believe, for the Militaw budget ones. I think it's made out of nitro steel, nitro V, and I think there's one that might be one at 154 cm, and there might be one on D2. I'm not sure, but there are alternatives if this is too small and you like what Kizer's doing. Check out my other review and unboxing on the Militaw fixed blade. Definitely worth a look as well. But if you want something small, I mean, get them both if you want. But this is going to be a nice little thing. All right, what are y'all thoughts on this? Has any of you guys owned the Smolt? Any of you guys use the Smolt? Do you like it? What do you think about the 3V? How's it holding up as far as your blade, your edge, and all that good stuff? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Anything that you have to say about this knife. Hey, if you found this content fun, interesting, worthwhile, or entertaining, would you please consider hitting the like button down below? And if you've already hit that like button, maybe consider hitting the subscribe button. Subscribing and liking the channel really helps me out. Allows me to produce more content, do more things, ultimately do more things for you guys. So thank you. Thank you to everyone out there who watches the videos, who enjoys the content, who's part of the live stream, who's part of the channel. I appreciate you. Thank you. If you haven't already, hit that notification button down there as well, so you can be notified of future content like this and other videos. And a big shout out to all my channel members. I sure do appreciate you. You do 2 things for me. You encourage me when I need the encouragement, because I don't do this full time. I'm part time. And so you're like my workout buddy. You keep me going. I want to say thank you to you guys. Secondly, because of your generous support through your memberships, your generosity, you allow me to do things way sooner than I ever thought I'd be able to. And I'm so grateful. I really am. You allow me to do weekly giveaways. You allow me to check out knives and cover the shipping costs. I am so thankful for you guys. Thank you. Every one of you out there. Thank you. So I want to do 2 special things for you guys. A way for me to say thank you. 2. First, I do a once a month members giveaway. It's exclusive just for the channel members, and that's once a month. Usually I'll do something above a budget banger, above a budget knife, like between $100 and $300. I'll try to make sure it's something really nice just for you members. It's my small way to say thank you. The other thing is all brand new channel members. Typically it's the new channel members. When you become a new channel member, you've never had a channel sticker before, you never asked for one, email me your name and address, and I'd love to mail you a channel sticker. As long as you're currently a member right now, right? And you've never had, you never asked or received a channel member sticker, email me with your name and address, and I'd love to mail you a channel sticker. A little thank you note. That's my way to say thank you. And that really does apply if you've been a member all along and you never asked for a sticker and you're currently a member, or you were a member and then you became a member again and you're currently a member and you've never asked for a sticker. All those apply. If you want a channel sticker, email me your name and address. Seriously, thank you. All right, well, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching this. If you haven't already, check me out on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Again, that's on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.